Hey, what's going on, guys? I just want to talk about the new update that just happened and what I think about it. So first, let's look at it. This giant hit points decreased by 5%, which really isn't going to do much. But the poison one is really big because giant poison was such a deadly combo. Elixir pump is now 6, but you get 8 elixir. Lifetime increase by 10 seconds. Kind of a weird change. I mean, Rocket now will even trade with the pump, so it's an indirect buff to Rocket. The log rolls faster and further. Damage increased by 8%. I just don't see the log being too viable. It needs to attack air, in my opinion. Lava Hound's really popular right now. It's gotta be able to attack air. It's just not gonna be used much until it gets that. Skeleton Army elixir cost decreased to 3. That's actually really big, because Zap will now only get a +1 trade on it, and it's hard to zap the full Skeleton Army. So Skeleton Army is actually very viable now. And went from being one of the worst cards in the game to it looks viable. We'll see what decks it gets put in, really what happens with it. Ice Golem death damage also damages flying troops. Ice Golem's pretty trash. That's really not going to do much for it. It needs something big. I don't know, Ice Golem is just a really weird card. It needs a change, big change, to be viable. Golem death damage also damages flying troops. That's actually pretty big. That's a pretty big buff to the Golem. I mean, I still feel like Giants is better than the Golem. Giant is just insane, even with all these nerfs it's getting. It's just a better value than the Golem, in my opinion. Let's look at some of the decks I've been trying out. So, I've been playing Lava Hound in Grand Challenges, and Lava Hound is really strong right now because not many people are running Poison. And what you can do is you get your 3 elixir minions behind the Lava Hound, and if they don't have Poison, they'll have to Fireball it if they have Fireball. And then you can just Mega Minion behind your Lava Hound. Lava Hound indirectly got a big buff with the Poison nerf. So I think we're going to see a lot more Lava Hound decks, because I don't know about if it's going to be Lava Hound Pump. Probably Lava Hound Pump, because it's such an expensive card. But we'll see all different kind of variations of it. And I made a new version of Trifecta. Let's take a look at it. This is what I came up with. Hog, Musket, Valk, Zap. The Poison, it's still kind of early to see if Fireball is better than Poison. I mean, Poison's still viable. It's just not as insane. It just got a pretty big nerf, though. We'll have to see how it works in the meta. And Cannon, I put Goblins in as Zap bait. If they zap my Goblins, then my Skeleton Army is free to do whatever it wants. So, it's a pretty solid deck. Poison still seems viable to me, because it's the best way to stop a Lava Hound. You gotta be able to stop Lava Hound. And that's a reason why I don't think Log is going to be new meta. It's got to be able to attack air, especially with Lava Hound just getting stronger and stronger. Let's look at some of the top decks people are using. Here's the number 1 guy. See, Rocket got an indirect buff because Pump is 6 now, So Rocket trades with a pump. So indirect buff to the Rocket. He's using Log. But he has Princess and Ice Wizard to clean up air, and he's a Mega Minion. It's a pretty solid deck. He can pull air troops to the Skeleton Army, and he has plenty of range to kill it. Plenty of stuff to kill it, so it's a pretty solid deck. Still using Giant Poison. I still think Giant Poison is viable. It's just not as insane as it was. Yeah, a lot of people are using that deck. Some bait decks, Zap bait decks. Still using that deck. Yeah, so we'll see how it turns out. The Hog Cycle is really popular now, just because of the Giant nerf. We're gonna see a lot more Hog Cycle, but you know, it's still early. I think it's a good change. I think most of the changes are pretty good. I think Giant should have got more of a nerf, honestly, like a 15% hit points decrease. To be honest with you, it's that insane, in my opinion. The poison nerf was just so big, but it was so overused that definitely had to get some kind of change to it. I think it might have been a little harsh though. The Elixir Collector one is weird. Their whole goal is that when you pump, you're supposed to just get rushed down now. Since it costs 6 elixir, you have less elixir to defend. That's the whole goal of it. You know, I think it needed it. Elixir Collector is way too good. But, I don't know. It's just... It kind of just makes it like you don't even need to use it anymore. Just use the cheap deck and don't worry about it. Yeah, like I said with the Log, I don't think it's going to be viable until it attacks air. And the Skeleton Army definitely seems viable now. We'll see more Golem. I think we'll see a lot more Golem usage. That's a nice buff to the Golem. So, I think mostly we're going to see all kinds of different Hog Cycle decks. Probably without Pump. Bowler's going to be big, because people are going to be using spammy troops now, because not many people are going to be running Poison. Valkyrie is also pretty much got an indirect buff, because all the Skeleton Armies, all the spammy troops, it's just going to clear them all up. So it's an indirect buff to the Valkyrie and the Bowler. We'll say more Log usage, but I don't know, it's just such a weird card. I think Giant, we'll still see a lot of Giant, it's just going to be less extreme, because Giant is still really good. You know, we might be seeing like some Giant Lightning kind of decks, who knows, but I think mostly it's going to be Hog Cycle. We're going to see a lot of Lava Hound. We're going to see some Giant decks. And I think Golem. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of Golem decks too. And I think a few Miner decks, because Miner is not going to be as good without the Miner Poison combo. So that's really what I think about the update, and I think what we're going to see. Hope you guys enjoy.